Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to show you how to recycle some old CDs and turn them into a woven piece of artwork. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take out your string. You can leave your needle in your bag. You will later write your name on the tape and put your CD back inside when we're done. So this is going to be our loom. We're going to turn it over to the ugly side, take the end of our yarn, and I'll have some tape around the room. I'll come around and pass out some tape. We're going to tape it down. Anywhere back there is fine. And then we're going to create the spokes of our CD that we can weave over, under. So I'm just always holding on to wherever I left off. I'm going to go around one time. You can push it through and pull it. That's my first spoke. And I like to do an odd, it has to be an odd amount. So I'm actually going to flip it over and do it this way so I can just push it up and grab it. I'm holding it right here so it stays nice and tight. And I'm just doing around and through. This is creating the warp of your loom. I'm going to have an odd amount. I'm always holding on to it. Don't let it go. And you're just basically twisting it over, through. I taped it on the back because my shiny side is going to be the side that I can even add Sharpie designs to after I've done some weaving. I'll go all the way around and then I'll count to see if I have about 15. 13 or 15, 17, 19, 21, any odd number will work, but we obviously don't want to have 3. You need to have at least 15 or 13. I like doing about 15. So you can take your little pie pieces and slide them a little bit closer to have them even. If they feel really loose, maybe put a piece of tape across there. Around, pull through, keeping it nice and tight. Not so much that it hurts your hand. So right now on the front, if I put my thumb on this one, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm gonna go around a few more times. I find 13 to 15 is a good number. 21 is a lot of weaving. Tighten that one up. Around, pull through the hole. Now if you need to pause this video, I would go ahead and pause. Make sure you have the odd amount, 13 to 15. Evenly space your little spokes of the wheel. I'm going to count here and see where I'm at. Put your thumb on 1 so you know where you started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have to have odd amounts, so I'm going to go one more time. Okay, now right there, I'm going to go ahead and tape it. Double check. Now, if you do end up with an even amount, you could just push 2 of them together. So I could have stopped at 14, and I'm going to tape it right there. Okay, double check that I have an even amount. Or odd amount. If I have even, I can push 2 together to make 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Perfect. I'm going to do 15. Now, instead of wasting all this extra yarn here, I'm actually going to use it to start weaving. So I'm going to take it and pull it through the middle. And this is where we're going to start our weaving. Now, if you were to cut it and get a different color, you would just need to tape it to the back. So I'm going to take my string, and it's really hard to get those frayed edges through there. So what I like to do is bend it over like a little tiny tongue and push it through the string, through the hole, and then just make a little loop, go around through the hole to tie it on so it'll stay. Okay, you don't have to do a big old knot because you want to be able to untie it. So now I'm ready to start weaving. I'm gonna make sure I can get this nice and close so you can see. Okay, so the pattern is over, under, over, under. Now, since I'm using the same color string, it is a little harder at first. So I would go over the first one, doesn't matter where you start, over, then under, over. Make sure you're not going through the string because then it won't pull down. Then I'm just gonna pull that, not too tight because I don't want that tape to come off the back, and then look and see where you were before. I went under this one, so I'm gonna go over, then under, over, under, however many you can get through, and then pull, but not too hard. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you if I were not using this color, because I don't like to waste the yarn, you can still use it. I'm gonna grab another piece of yarn and just show you how you can start with another color. Might be a little easier for you to see as well. Okay, so if I'm starting with a different color, this is only for the first time. Every other time we're gonna tie the next color to it. So I'm gonna tape it somewhere on the back, my messy side. If you want and you're getting really loose strings, you can also kind of tape those down to help them stay in place. This is just optional if you need it. Keep all the messy on the side with the printing. Now, I'm gonna use orange so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna fold that in half. Remember, I don't wanna work with those frayed edges. Bend it, push it through the hole, and then I'm gonna make a loop, go around through the hole, and pull just so it stays on there, okay? Now, I'm weaving on the front side, the prettier side that has that hologram looking shiny to it. Okay, so this might be a little easier to see since I'm using a different color now. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the first one, under the next one, over, then under, over, then under. Grab the needle. Make sure you're not going through your black warp strings with whatever color you chose. Okay, so you can see it goes over, under, over, under, over, under. I'm gonna continue that pattern, over, over, under, over. I think I'll just stop right there. Okay, and then pull the string. Now I only got about 2 foot or 3 foot of string here. I didn't get it really long because you don't want it to knot up whenever you're weaving. You're gonna be able to go around a few times. Now if you ever see that your strings are all side by side, instead of doing the opposite each time, because see this one was over and then under, that means you probably have an even amount of these. So go back and check it. If they're all ending up only covering one strand and going another strand. That's why it's very important that you have an odd amount, because each time it makes a revolution around the circle, you are doing the opposite when you have an odd amount. So if it were under the first time, it would be over the next round, and so forth. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue this. Now I would use up most of this string, leave about 6 inches open so that you can tie the next color on it. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. Somewhere, oh, I see I made a mistake somewhere. Those are 2 overs. So if you do that, you could just weave back the opposite way and figure out what you did. Even Miss Adams makes mistakes on these. I went over 2. Yep, that's my mistake. See, I went over this one and this one. So I just unwove it that. Now, a lot of times you could just keep going and not worry about it, and it would fix it on the next round. But since I saw the mistake, it was easier to fix. Okay? Now, when you're ready for your next color, don't waste this yarn. You would actually weave most of it. Save about this much yarn so you can tie your next string on. And then go get 2 or 3 feet of your next color. So I'm gonna just grab this green and I'm gonna pull out. If you pull it straight up, it's easier to get it off. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and cut. Here's the easiest way I found to tie 2 strings together. If you do it on the table, you're going to put 2 strings together, pretend they're one, make a loop, take the end of that loop and you're gonna go under, back through this hole. So make sure you have a big enough hole here. So I take these two, and I don't do it by the end, I just kind of push them through, grab it and pull. And then I'm gonna trim that knot, but not too close. Now don't worry about the knots showing, you can always tuck them under whenever you're done weaving. Then you just get your needle. Just a reminder, we're not trying to do this. You bend it like a little hook, slide through, and then make your little loop around through the hole to tie it on. Okay, and then you're just going to continue weaving. So I was under this time, I'm going to go over, under, over, under. Trying not to go through the black strings. That's really hard to not do. Okay, and then just pull and your little knot will go through there. And then we'll hide that knot later. Okay, so I hope you understand how to weave on a CD. These are the warp strings. This is the loom. The strings going around making your colorful design are called your webbed strings. They travel over, under, over, under, over, under, and continue. And they automatically do the opposite because you did an odd amount. So make sure that you write your name either on the back of your CD. Also write it right here on this piece of tape that'll be on your bag. Okay? So keep on going. We're gonna go out till we get about an inch from the edge right here. So that should be a couple days. And then we're just gonna go back in with some colored Sharpie and add some designs around the outside here. Okay, good luck.